Happy Easter on this Wednesday of the third week of Easter. As you look through the readings for today's Mass, in the first reading, once again from the Acts of the Apostles, you'll notice that the early church, the early disciples, have just been burying their beloved Stephen, the first martyr of the church, the great deacon. And so you can imagine through all these trials and tribulations, all this sadness, that you would think that they would either be sort of hunkered down in their homes or otherwise just sort of having a general depression. But instead, the scriptures describe them at the very end of the passage for today's liturgy, is that they are filled with joy. Filled with joy. You know, as we look at that word in the Greek, joy is not quite even captures what it means. It said that they were filled with such joy that it was like at a fever pitch. And so it's almost like even beyond just being sort of like happy or joyful, but just so full of joy of the resurrection of the Lord, the grace of this new life in Jesus Christ. And we can see that in the midst of our challenges, especially during this pandemic, that it's important for us to acknowledge our own grieving, to not discount the great suffering of health and the economy around us, but at the same time that we're still Christians that are filled with joy. So one of the ways I think we can do this is, you know, who wants to be a Christian? Who wants to be a Catholic like us if what all we're putting out there is just sort of like it's an obligation, or it's just one of the things I do? Hopefully, being a Catholic is fun, and it's full of joy. And we can show that in our own pictures and videos that we take with people. Do they ever see us having fun being Catholic? I mean, I see lots of people with, you know, a bottle of beer or a glass of wine in their hand. Of course, they have a smile on their face. Do we not have the same look, and can we not share with others that same look if we have a rosary in our hand? That we're gathered around the television, watching Mass, worshiping together, and having fun doing that. And all the other ways that we can show that our faith is not just something, it is serious, certainly, but it's serious because ultimately it immerses us in the grace of the new life of Jesus Christ, which has to fill us with joy. And I think more than words and more than actions, that if we're really serious about sharing Jesus with others, that we'll share that joy that people will see just by the way we live, especially in this time when it's easier to be fearful or sad, that we have that joy, that we have that joy at a fever pitch, such a fever that other people want to catch what we have. When they do so, then they can join us as people that are a part of the resurrection of the Lord and a joyful Easter people.